Is bigger better when it comes to a gambling budget? That's what we're going to answer today. Do you need more money to create more opportunity? Do you need more money to stay alive? The answer is
No.
no. None of those things are true, by the way. And anyone who is trying to convince you that more money is better isn't a professional gambler, doesn't know how to gamble. That's not a thing. Yes, it sounds great. It sounds dramatic. Come in $15,000 and this is how you're going to win infinite sums of money. But guess what? It's never true, and it's absolutely dangerous, which is why we are making these videos. So here's the thing. We have what's called a bridge workshop, and it's all about helping you find your sweet spot to gambling. And in many different categories. What's the right budget? What's the right risk profile? Identifying opportunities, this type of thing. So the B in bridge is budget. The first thing we want you to do is understand what is a good budget for you. And it doesn't always mean a lot of money. It means you. Okay, so here's the first question I like to ask everyone that comes to the table. I don't want to hear your baller stuff and how much money you can play. I want to hear what you want to play. What is a comfortable buy-in for you very specifically? And that's different for everyone. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, whatever the case is. Okay, now, we've got Dennis here. So Dennis, let's assume for example, you're in Los Angeles, okay? You're working as one of the many waiters waiting for your big acting breakout role.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Which this could be it. This could be the one.
We're role playing a little bit.
Role play. Yeah, sure. Why not? Now, you have saved up once a year. You like to come to Vegas. You save up for the year. How much you bringing with you?
Probably around $2,000 to $3,000.
That's a fantastic number, because you know what? That's the average amount of money that someone comes to Vegas with in their pocket to spend disposable money, $3,000. Now, that $3,000, you realize you could light it on fire in the parking lot. It would piss you off, but it wouldn't break you.
Yeah,
right?
it would suck, but I would be fine the next day.
Okay, now let's imagine that every weekend you're coming to Vegas. You're just not finding that big break. You're not getting those acting parts, and here you are coming to Vegas. Now, how much are you going to budget for Vegas?
Maybe $100, maybe even 20. I don't know. That's tough. That's tough.
You see what I'm saying? So it matters to you. Now we and Dennis have worked with a few people very wealthy, and their risk tolerance and their budget profile is very low. They don't like to buy in for a lot of money. They don't see these games as having a lot of opportunity, but for them it's still entertainment. They might buy in for $1,000. We know a guy worth millions of dollars does not want to risk more than $1,000 at a time, and that's perfectly fine. There's still a lot of opportunity. There's still a lot of things you can do with that money. So the first thing you want to find is, what is your tolerance, your budget tolerance? And that is money that you can light on fire. For me, quite honestly, where I'm at now in life, I love a $300 bankroll for tables.
He does, by the way.
I really do, because I've been around these games way too long, and I like to buy in. I like to play a little bit, but I don't like to risk a lot of money. Now, if you're talking about a good Keno machine, dude, I mean, that could be big, dude. That could be big.
That's a whole other discussion.
That's a whole other discussion. That's crazy. That's crazy territory. But anyways, so when it comes to the tables, $300, and that's what I like to do. Okay, now, so the next part of this equation is very simple. It's session play. A lot of people come to Vegas and they forget that they're going to be here for more than one day.
Yeah.
They walk up to the table, they got all their money in their pocket because they have all that cash. They don't want to leave it up in the room, whatever the case is. They don't trust the safe or who knows. And they walk up to the table, and now instead of them having 300, 500, whatever they've allocated budget, or they have no idea of session play, they just have this big wad of cash, right? And here's what happens a lot. The wad of cash goes bye-bye. They have a terrible first session, and now they're streaming Netflix in their room for 2 days and trying to find a discount food court.
Yeah.
You follow? There's not a lot of those left in Vegas, by the way, so bring some extra money because food is not cheap. You know what I mean? So now we have to plan for sessions. So how does David plan for sessions? You know what David does? David brings envelopes. It's that simple. It's sometimes you need to do something a little structured to help you out. It sounds like such a stupid little thing, but it worked really well for me. And it worked great. I know it's a very simple, stupid little hack. I mean, it could be a point curse, whatever the hell it is. It could be, listen, there was one time, in fact, where I had 3 different pants that I was going to wear. You know, pant for day 1, pants for day 2, pants for day 3. And I had the money in the pants separate. You know what I mean? And I didn't dare touch the money in pants too, dude. But you get what I mean? It's anything that you need to do to help you kind of divide and make sure that you have money for every day.
Yeah, build a system for this.
Yeah, and really it's brain energy. You just have to expend a little brain energy, just put it out there, create some structure for yourself, whatever that requires. Now, it's also important that you don't have easy access to this money, right? So I would very often not play in the casino that I was staying at. That was always a thing for me, because if it was up in my hotel room, guess what? David would be like, hey, hold my spot. Let me get up the elevator real quick, and I'll go get pants number 2 or envelope number 2, whatever the case is, right? So some people, and I know some hotels are going to hate me saying this, is listen, stay at Mandalay Bay, gamble at Circus. You know what I'm saying?
Or whatever that case is. Yeah.
You know, whatever the case is, just so that the one place is far enough away where you can't just run. You know, you have enough time to just like have to walk outside, get some fresh air, and disconnect a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Whatever it takes, because we get emotionally invested. The table gets hot, or we make it personal, whatever the case is, and sometimes that takes precedent over our common sense, right? Now, the next consideration is quite literally what we're going to do when we're gambling. So different games have different opportunities and different goals, different objectives that play into our bankroll. For example, when you play blackjack, okay, if you choose blackjack as a game and you plan to just spend time on a blackjack table, flat bet the table. And a flat bet is?
It's just putting the same amount, right? So if you're playing a $10 table, you put $10, and then if it loses, you put 10. If it wins, you still keep the 10 there.
That's right. You just sort of play the same money, you flat bet the game, and you can play a long time, unless the table is absurdly cold, and then you should move. But unless you really have a bad run, if you just keep a flat bet going, there's some simple progressions too. We've done like 1, 3, 2. There's a few basic blackjack systems that we have early on the Casino Quest channel, even CEG channel, where we kind of talk about some different progressions. But basically, you just keep your bets low. You keep your bets very refined. You're not going to do any risk leveraging. You're not going to lean into the streaks, no aggressive types of gambling. We recommend basic strategy. You bring a basic strategy card. Now, Pai Gow, same thing. Pai Gow is a great game, especially if you're a low risk profile. You have a low risk profile and you want to keep, you know, the same low budget. I bought in for $25 Pai Gow, 4 green checks, and I played for 6 hours.
Oh, really?
100%. And have gained myself a comp. Famously a comp to CPK once that I abused the hell out of. But that day I bought in for 4 green checks. I won a couple, lost a couple, because you could play for a long period of time and really not risk a lot of money. And that's why it's there. That's why the casino has it there. So if you're someone who really does want to, it's a great social game too, by the way, because it doesn't require a lot of brain energy. You can always get the dealer to help you set your hand. You can talk to whoever's next to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe meet your next wife. You know what I mean? It's a great social game, that type of thing. But anyways, so there's all of that, okay? So now we want to figure out what it is when we go to the casino. Are we gambling for time, okay? Are we gambling to be social, okay? Or are we gambling for opportunity? Now, I mentioned social. A lot of people will confuse social with time, and in some respects that's true. But when we're gambling for time and we're kind of sitting there, we're still able to sort of maintain focus. We can still do basic systems, basic risk leveraging, these types of things, because it's just us and we're just gambling for time, right? And by the way, when we say gambling for time, we also mean gambling for comps, because a lot of times that's the exchange of value. So the more we hang out at a table at X dollars, the more comps we'll get at X dollars.
Yeah.
You follow? And in many cases, we can research that before we even get to the casino. Okay, so there's lots of ways. You can call ahead, by the way. A lot of casinos will let you talk to a host or a concierge person and say, hey, I want to come to your casino. I want a free room. What do I need to play to get a free room? But if you're someone who really likes to gamble, if you're someone like Dennis who's coming with your even $3,000, by the way, now, mind you, that's not everywhere.
Yeah.
So at $3,000, you may need to look at a downtown casino, but you can call that downtown casino and say, hey, I'm coming with $3,000. I want to play roulette. Okay, and they might actually give you a room free up front and say, well, if you play it for X amount of time, that room will be free. But when you go to check out, if we find that you didn't play, we're going to charge you for the room.
Yeah.
You see? So that's gambling for time. Gambling for time, gambling for comps, same difference. Okay. Now, social gaming is a little different, because social gaming assumes that you're going to be socializing. You'll be there with a friend, a relative, a loved one, whatever the case is, right? And in that case, now you might be distracted, you might be drinking, you'll be doing other things, okay? And we recommend you playing games that You can play craps. Craps is an easy game to stay social and not have to focus too much.
Depending on the strategy.
Depending on the strategy, right? Because that's going to be the last part of this that we're going to share with you are the strategies that play into each of these types of objectives, okay? If you're on a blackjack game, just plan on very basic strategy. You want to bring a card, flat bet, you know, but plan to be distracted, have a few drinks, and not worry about it. You follow? Okay. Now the third one, so we got time, social. The third one is really playing for opportunity, right? So just because you don't have the biggest, fattest bankroll, and if you do, congratulations, that's also opportunity too, right? That's great on you. But again, you don't need it. But if we're playing for opportunity now, we're going to attach our budget to that opportunity system, okay?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that's going to have a little bit of a flavor in this is your risk profile. And in fact, some cases a lot depending upon the system. So if you're someone that has a higher risk profile, right? You're someone with a high risk tolerance, then there are different strategies that'll play into that to potentially create more opportunity. But then also you might be out in 5-15 minutes, depending upon your bankroll, okay? So bankroll is going to matter when it comes to that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to ramp this up. Well, let's just say right now you have come to Vegas with $500 and you've split it up into 2 different days. $250, let's say $300 a day. Okay, so that's $600. Okay, let's say $600. Quite honestly, if you only have $100 to spend gambling, there's not a lot of help. There's not a lot of stuff you can do with that.
Or go play Keno.
Go play Keno, play slots maybe. There's not a lot of table games that support that anymore, which really sucks. And quite honestly, at Casino Quest, we would love to, if we ever get a chance to host a casino, we're going to have $100 bankroll days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just bring your $100 and have as much fun as possible on our $5 game. Now, Palms, there are some $5 games. You can play a $100 bankroll.
It's just tougher.
It's just a lot more difficult to play. So let's start at $300. I think that's more reasonable. That'll fit most people's wallet, light on fire expense. Okay, so let's assume we have $300. So the first thing is we need to identify what the opportunity are, right? So there is on that bridge worksheet and in our bridge workshop, we identify the opportunities and then we know the destination. So $300 bankroll is not going to be such a good thing for, like, let's say a Bellagio, an Aria, a Wynn. You won't get a lot of play time. You won't be able to, you will be able to socialize pretty quickly because you'll be out of money and the only thing you'll have left to do is talk to whoever you're with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can yap for a bit.
You can yap. They've actually had a $200 table one day we went in. So this would be not a lot of opportunity.
Barely a bet.
And if they have a $100 game, they're going to go like this. You know, you can have 3 chips. I recommend you not going there. Same thing, Bellagio, $50 tables, $100 tables. You know, it's just not worth it. It's short money systems on games just really don't have a lot of room at the table. Now, we have seen someone buying for $100 on a game win $13,700. He literally short money the game, $100 buy-in. It was crazy.
When you got extraordinarily lucky.
But it's just so rare, and it requires a lot more on luck than any actual skill or any actually. Okay, so here it is. So here's $300 on a crap table. Now, let's break this down into 3 different scenarios. Okay. Scenario 1 is we're going to play for time. Scenario 2 is we're going to do kind of if there's a social caveat to that. And scenario 3 is something that we're playing for opportunity, okay? And we have a number of systems that play into each of these budgets. So we're going to do 300. So let's assume number 1 is first you're going to play for time or social. And guess what we're going to have you do? We're going to have you bet the pass line. And if you've watched some of David's upgrading strategies, we always recommend not betting the pass line. But again, we're really just looking at hanging out at the table, okay?
Yeah.
So what we want is as little investment as possible. So let's say we have a point of 5, right? Or a point of 4. Now what we want you to do is bet the 6 and 8. So you'll notice he started at $10 because we're going to assume that you're going to find a $10 table for $300 budget, and there's a lot of ways to research that. So now Dennis is going to give me $24. It's going to be 5 nickels. I'm going to give him, and you just tell the dealer, hey, give me the 6 and 8 for 12 each, okay? Yep. And you're going to take, starting with single odds, that's it. So you have $20 invested here, $24 invested here. Not too bad. You have 5 or 6 bullets, 5 or 6 shooters around the table, so 5 or 6 tries at this. And reasonably speaking, unless the table is ridiculously cold, you should stay in action. So here's what we're going to do. 2 different scenarios. One is If you're really just looking at time, we can do unit presses. We can add to our odds slowly, all right? But we don't want to be too aggressive with a 6 and 8. Now let's pretend the 6 and 8 hits. The very first time, we can press these up a unit each, right?
Okay.
So instead of you taking the bet, we create some opportunity. We go to $18 each. We take a little change, you see? Now, as we're going, we're going to same bet. If the 6 and 8 should hit once, we'll go here, maybe start slowly adding to our odds and creating some investments. So we're sharing this system with our rack, okay? Yep. We're sharing what's on the layout to what's on the rack, and we're slowly sort of grinding our way to Eventown, all right? The expectation, by the way, when you play at this level is really just to kind of stay even. Again, we're playing for time. If the opportunity presents itself and someone starts rolling on and on and on, then we can go to do something a little more aggressive.
Yeah,
okay?
We can pivot to something else.
We can pivot to something else. Now, another way we can work this money, it's very simple. We have double tap. It's $44. It's $44. Okay, let's say that. So you put down $44. You don't even need to bet the pass line. You put down $44 and you bet the inside on a $10 game. Okay, just like this, okay? Now, we call this double tap your meat. It's a really simple system. And basically what you're going to do is whatever hits, it's going to pay $14. All right? 14 bucks. And the very first thing you do, no matter what hits, is you're going to add the 6 and 8. No, we're going to add the 6 and 8. Okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to press up the 6 and 8 1 unit each. You're going to get back $2, okay? And now you have $18 each on the 6 and 8. Okay? Simple as that. Now, if the 6 and 8 should hit at this point, it's $21. Okay? And now you just take one of them down. You take the back, you go back to 44, and look at this. You got 33 in the rack, and you have $44 inside.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it really simple. So no matter what hits, press the 6 up a unit each, and then the second number just come back to 44. Now you get a lot of your money in the rack. Now look, any new number hits, any inside number, just same bet. And now you have all your money back.
Okay.
Okay, just like that. And you just keep on this. Now, if you should catch a roll, you can press and collect, press and collect, press and collect. And it's a very easy system. Anyone can do it. You get out pretty easily, and you can, keep in the roll and find some opportunity. So every one of the systems that we use has some level of opportunity, right? Yeah. It's just how fast does that opportunity translate, or how aggressive does that opportunity translate? Okay, how much opportunity are we going to create for ourselves? How quickly? If you're playing for time or socializing, not so quickly. All right, I'm going to show you another system for social gaming that I absolutely love. And you ready? So here, assuming that you're in here, give me that money back. Yeah. I'm going to show you the social system. Okay. And the reason why I'm going to show you this is because I saw a guy who could yap more than me, and this is what he would play. It's very simple. Yeah, because if you're yapping more than me, you are not very focused. And so here's what he would do. Point would come out. He would wait for the point to be established. He would just throw a quarter in the come. Okay. He would wait for that. He would only have 2 working bets. Throw another in the come. Okay. 2 working bets. If he gets one of these back, he throws one on the odds and he leaves that in the come.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Gave me some, like a slight bit of
a little bit, but this is just a social play. And here's the interesting about it. He wouldn't lose very often. It's so hard to knock a player out like this. And I say that because the boss comes up and says, hey, let's close this game. And this bastard is yapping away, playing his 2 little green chips, you feel?
Yeah.
And he's only in $300. You could play this on a quarter game. And, inevitably, you're going to get some of these returns. So you see, in fact, let's do this. I'm so confident. Let's just roll some dice. You ready? We're just going to roll some dice. Here, you roll some dice. Just roll it over here. Yeah, I'm going to give you $300.
We're not doing complete rolls. We're just
we're going to do real quick ones. Okay, so here, just roll it out. There you go. Okay, oh, yo 11. Now let's assume that, just roll it again. I'm going to give you a coupon on the line. Okay, go ahead. All right, oh God, you lost it back. See, that's why we don't care about the line so much. So you don't have to bet the line on a crap table. Okay, 7 a winner. Well, apparently you should with this roller.
Apparently.
6 a heart. Okay, put a green one in there. So here it is. He puts a green one in the cup. 6 heart, that's another winner. Wow, you are a fantastic shooter. So now look, you're going to keep it going. So that's it. You just have 2 in a row after the come out roll.
And for those of you new, he's putting on the pass line because it's the same thing as a come bet.
Yeah, same thing as a come bet. 7 winner. Look, because the reason why we're putting it here is you get paid here, but you're going to lose this one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This guy could keep a table open, yapping away for hours on end, dude. Hours on end. Keep going. Watch this. 4 hard way. We're out on a 4. Okay, now you're going to put a come bet. So as long as you have 1, you're going to have 2. Yeah. All right, go ahead. 6 a hard way. So here it is, the 6. I'm moving on to the 6. You got a 4 and 6.
Yeah, the biggest difference is you don't have to focus too hard on this one compared to the time one, right? The comps.
Right. Yeah, this one you're done. Okay, go ahead. Let's roll it again.
Just have 2 bits.
6 easy. Now watch this. So what we do is you get paid for the 6, add some odds, and now we keep those two checks working, dude. You see what I'm saying?
And you're not invested more because you won it. Right?
And you don't need to watch anything. 6 easy. Boom.
Just keep it there. Keep rolling.
7 out. Well, thanks for playing, sir. All right, but you see what I'm saying? It doesn't, that's the easiest thing. Just keep it in the simple units and just fire away. Okay, now let's look at opportunity for 300. Now, opportunity for 300 on a crap table means this. Unfortunately, if you have a high risk tolerance and you're looking to create an opportunity with $300, it's a bit of a high bar, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy, right? First is I recommend finding a $5 table, right? And 100%. If you do find a $5 table, you just do 32 across and you triple lux it. You follow? Triple lux means power, power press, collect. And here's how that works. Very simple. So you have this. So let's say $50. I'm going to give you $18, and then I'm going to give you 32 across. And guess what? There are more $5. Palms has a $5 game. Ellis has a $5 game. So this does exist. So you can play it on bubble craps too. Okay. Now what you're going to do is anything hits. Okay. It's going to pay anything on the inside is going to pay 7. On the 4 and 10 is going to pay 9. All right. If a 5 or 9 hits, you throw in $3. Okay. And you power press this. Right. If a 6 and 8 hits, you're going to throw in $5 in order to go all the way up. Okay. If the 4 and 10 hits, it's going to pay 9. You're going to throw in $1, which, by the way, if it's worth it to get Crapsy. Okay, just real quickly at crapsy.com, it's only $5 a month. You get a discount if you pay for the whole year, and you can practice all these presses. You can do they have a free version. You can try it out, but to do the manual entry so that you can practice all the presses, it's $5 a month. You can create your own table, create your odds. You can mimic a table that's close to you. Yeah. And boom, you can practice all these bets. So anyways, if the 4 and 10 hits, you're just going to go all the way to 15. Now, so the idea behind Triple Lux is to get 3 of any one number. So if the 9 hits again, it's going to pay $21. You're going to go all the way to $35 or $36 in this case, okay? And then if it hits again, same bet. Collect. That's all it is, Triple Lux. And this system, by the way, is back in the day. You can find it on Casino Quest.
Yeah, all the links to the strategies and even Crapsy will be in the description.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the idea. You want to maximize your aggression with $300. Find a $5 game. The only other way to go with this on $300 is just to stick with 44 inside and basically do the same thing. Okay, which with 44 inside, you can work it a little differently. Let me show you very quickly. Okay, so let's say 44 inside is now you're only looking for a $10 table. Okay, now the greatest thing about 44 inside is, so for example on the 9, okay, on the 9 pays $14. You throw in $1, right? You go to a quarter on the 9. Now if you get another 9, watch this. You only need this one hit. You go back to $10 on the 9, and look,
you're out.
You're out. You see what I mean? You only have to do one power press, and again, aggression. And now you hit one of these, you can add 4s and 10s. There's a lot of ways to play these out, all right? So with $300, $10 tables still have lots of ways you can create aggression. Okay.
Pause for a second. I just want to see how far we're... Okay, I got to reset this camera.
So what did we learn? We learned that more is not better, okay? That's an absolute fact. Any video where anyone's trying to convince you to bet outside your comfort zone is a lie, and it's a dangerous lie. It's not a thing. Anyone who's trying to teach you for $5,000 or hundreds of dollars or whatever the case is to bet in a certain way that is not mindful of your budget. Your budget and your risk profile is not realistic. You will have a lot of buyer's remorse if it doesn't hurt you, like really very specifically hurt you. It could really hurt you.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, you know, it's not a part of this video, but we have a risk leveraging video up here where, you know, it leans into this. You don't need as much money to really make a lot of money. You can turn small bets into big bets fairly easily.
Yeah. Stay happy, stay safe, and have fun creating opportunity and looking for that win. The win is out there. There's lots of ways to win. David's not saying that you can't win or can't create opportunity. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't have buyer's remorse when you go gamble. Gamble for fun, and the wins will come.
Yeah, if you lose it all, you're not going to have a terrible day the next day.
Yeah, 100%. And don't come crying to me because this is the warning video. Okay, this is you. This is for you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being part of our experience, part of our story. And we're off to keynote to unwind.
And the truth is...